It was an ordinary Tuesday when I walked out to inspect my fencing line only to freeze mid-step. A massive freight train, 2 engines long, dozens of gravel and steel cars sat motionless right across my west access path. Not on public tracks, on a private spur that crossed my land. I stood in disbelief, and there he was, Martin, the HOA president, leaning smugly against a post on the other side, arms crossed. Like he'd won a battle. "Looks like you're stuck," he grinned. "Next time, respect the neighborhood. This wasn't even their jurisdiction. My 150-acre farmland had never been part of their precious HOA zone. They just hated that I refused to conform. No fees, no tidy lawns, no permission slips, so they played dirty. Martin's cousin, a shady logistics consultant, had ties with a small rail company. Together they arranged to park that train on the old service rail, which hadn't seen legal use in years. Bad move. See, what Martin didn't know is that I work in infrastructure compliance at the state level, and that rail easement had expired 3 years ago. I'd just been letting it sit out of courtesy until they weaponized it. That changed everything. I documented everything: drones, timestamps, land plat overlays, the whole 9 yards. Then I filed a multi-departmental report citing unauthorized land use, obstruction of agricultural activity, and violation of expired transportation access. But I wasn't done. A quick dive into public records reminded me of something better. I was one of the co-signers on the original zoning division map for that area. Turns out, due to a clause buried in a decade-old land use document, I still had authority to request a review of HOA legitimacy, and that's exactly what I did. The audit hit them like a freight train of its own. Investigators showed up, found unapproved renovations, falsified budgets, misuse of resident dues, and an illegal rail obstruction agreement with no permits. Within days, their bank accounts were locked. Leadership voted out, and the HOA charter voided. Police escorted the train off my property. I bulldozed the broken fence, rebuilt my road, and hung up a bold new sign: "You're now entering an HOA-free zone. No trespassing, no exceptions." So next time someone tries to cut you off with steel and wheels, just remember the strongest tool you own might be your paperwork. And if you enjoyed this takedown story, hit that subscribe button. There's more where that came from.